Welcome to Dreamy Tales English. I'm David. Tonight, we have a special story for you. It's called The Calligraphy Master of Xi'an. Xi'an is one of the oldest cities in China. For over 3,000 years, it has been the capital of 14 Chinese dynasties, and its walls still carry the echoes of emperors and generals, poets and merchants, conquerors and traders. Once, it was called Chang'an, meaning peace forever, and though empires have risen and fallen, the name still lingers in the hearts of the people who live there. In the old part of the city, near the giant wild goose pagoda, there is a small courtyard hidden behind a wooden door and a stone wall covered in ivy. Inside the courtyard, beneath a canopy of persimmon trees, sits a man named Master Gu. He is 80 years old, bald, with deep wrinkles etched into his face like the lines of a map. And he is one of the last calligraphers in China who writes with a brush the way his ancestors did, not for art galleries or museums, but for the simple joy of putting ink to paper. Master Gu's calligraphy is famous in Xi'an, though he has never sought fame. People come from all over the country to have him write their names, their blessings, and their wishes on scrolls of rice paper. He charges nothing. He says that calligraphy is not a commodity. It is a gift, like rain, like wind, like the turning of the seasons. Every morning at 5 o'clock, Master Gu wakes up, boils water, brews tea, and sits at his desk. He grinds his inkstick against the stone slab with slow, circular motions, 30 times clockwise, 30 times counterclockwise. He says that grinding ink is a form of meditation. When your hand moves in circles, he tells his visitors, your mind moves in circles too. And when your mind moves in circles, it eventually comes to a point, a single, still point at the center of everything. At 6 o'clock, he begins to write. He uses a brush made of wolf hair, which holds ink well and creates strokes that are bold and expressive. He writes on rice paper that is thin and absorbent, so that every movement of the brush is captured in the fiber of the page. And he writes in a style called running script, fast enough to be energetic, slow enough to be beautiful. Xi'an was 23 years old when she first walked into Master Gu's courtyard. She was a university student majoring in computer science, spending her days writing code and her nights scrolling through social media. She was good at what she did, her programs were efficient, her algorithms were elegant, and her professors praised her work. But she felt empty. The code she wrote solved problems that didn't matter. The praise she received felt hollow. And every night, when she lay in her dormitory bed and stared at the ceiling, she wondered if this was all there was. She had come to Xi'an on a school trip to visit the terracotta warriors and the city wall. But on the last day, when the tour group had moved on to the museum, Xi'an had wandered into the old part of the city and found Master Gu's courtyard by accident. She pushed open the wooden door and stepped inside. The courtyard was small, perhaps 20 feet by 20 feet, but it was filled with life. Persimmon trees drooped under the weight of their fruit. A stone fountain bubbled softly in the corner. And on the walls hung dozens of calligraphy scrolls, each one a different character written in a different style. Master Gu was sitting at his desk, writing. His brush moved across the paper with a speed that seemed impossible, swift, confident, and graceful, like a bird in flight. Xi'an watched him for a long time, mesmerized. When he finished, he set down the brush, picked up a towel, and wiped his hands. Then he looked at Xi'an and smiled. "You want to learn," he said. Xi'an blinked. "How did you know that?" "Your eyes," Master Gu said. "They look like mine did when I was your age." Full of questions, but no answers. He stood up, walked to a shelf, and returned with a brush, an ink stick, and a sheet of rice paper. "Sit," he said. "I will show you." And so Xi'an sat on a wooden stool in Master Gu's courtyard and learned to write Chinese characters. The first lesson was simple: hold the brush correctly. Master Gu placed the brush in Xi'an's right hand and adjusted her grip, thumb on one side, index finger on the other, middle finger supporting from below. "Your hand should be loose," he said. "Not tight, not limp. Like holding a bird. Too tight, and you crush it. Too loose, and it flies away." The second lesson was harder: grind the ink. Master Gu showed Xi'an how to hold the ink stick and move it in slow circles against the stone slab. 30 times clockwise. 30 times counterclockwise. Feel the rhythm. Feel the resistance. The ink is not just a material. It is a partner. It will tell you when you are ready to write. The third lesson was the hardest: write the first character. Master Gu placed a sheet of rice paper on the desk, poured ink into the well, and picked up the brush. The first character you will write is "run," meaning person. It is the simplest character in Chinese. 2 strokes. One going down and to the left, one going down and to the right. But do not mistake simplicity for ease. Writing correctly requires balance, strength, and grace. It is a character that embodies the human spirit. Xi'an picked up the brush, dipped it in ink, and placed it on the paper. Her hand trembled. The first stroke was crooked. The second was uneven. And the character looked nothing like the model Master Gu had drawn beside her. She frowned. "It's wrong." Master Gu smiled. "No. It is honest. And honesty is more important than perfection." He picked up his own brush and wrote the character again, slowly, deliberately, each stroke flowing into the next like water flowing down a mountain. When he finished, he held up the paper. The character was perfect, balanced, strong, and beautiful. "This is what your character should look like," he said. "Not because I am telling you to copy me, but because I am showing you what is possible when you let your hand move freely and your mind stay still." Xi'an looked at the character and felt something shift inside her. She had spent her entire life trying to be perfect. Perfect grades, perfect code, perfect posts on social media. But Master Gu was telling her that honesty was more important than perfection. That a crooked stroke written with feeling was worth more than a flawless stroke written without heart. She picked up the brush again. And this time, her hand did not tremble. Over the next 6 months, Xi'an returned to Master Gu's courtyard every weekend. She learned to write more characters, for mountain, for water, for heart, for dream. Each one taught her something new about balance, about patience, about the relationship between hand and mind. She learned that calligraphy was not just about writing characters. It was about expressing the self. Every stroke revealed something about the person who made it, their mood, their energy, their intention. A happy person writes with light, fluid strokes. A sad person writes with heavy, hesitant ones. An angry person writes with sharp, aggressive lines. And a peaceful person writes with calm, balanced grace. One afternoon, as Xi'an was practicing in the courtyard, Master Gu handed her a blank scroll of rice paper. "Write something," he said. Xi'an hesitated. "What should I write?" "Whatever you feel," Master Gu said. She picked up the brush, poured ink into the well, and began to write. She did not think about technique or style or perfection. She simply let her hand move and her heart speak. And when she finished, She held up the scroll for Master Gu to see. It was a single character. Peace. Master Gu examined it closely, nodding slowly. This is good, he said. Your hand is steady. Your mind is still. And your heart is open. Xi'an felt tears prick her eyes. She had not cried in a long time. But this was not sadness. This was relief, the relief of being seen, of being understood, of knowing that she was exactly where she was meant to be. When Xi'an returned to university after the semester ended, she did not go back to writing code. She changed her major to fine arts. She enrolled in a calligraphy course. And every weekend, she returned to Master Gu's courtyard in Xi'an to practice, to learn, and to write. Years later, when Xi'an looked back on that first afternoon in the courtyard, she would remember it as the moment her life changed. Not dramatically, not overnight, but slowly and steadily, like ink spreading across rice paper. She would remember Master Gu's words. Honesty is more important than perfection. And she would carry those words with her for the rest of her life, not just in her calligraphy, but in everything she did. Good night, and sweet dreams.